call. 7:03. Janice, do you want to take roll, please? Is that how we do it?
I'm here.
State your
Weege
name.
Henderson.
James Rodriguez.
Mark Bayer.
Jim Patika.
So Mr. and Mrs. Moretti are here tonight, homeowners of 100 Shady Trail, and they've requested a variance to the city code under section 78-133 area regulations for District A under this division as follows. Rear yard, principal building 20 feet from the rear property line to the building foundation edge, and section 7858 and 7859. Board of Adjustment, special exemptions and variances, requesting a permit such modification of height, yard area, spacing, and parking regulations as may be necessary to secure appropriate development of a parcel of land of such usual topography or restricted area and shape that it cannot be appropriately developed without such modification. Question, is the variance request considered a hardship? Do we need to go over what a hardship is? We can.
With the hardship, it's something that cannot be self-imposed. So they can't create the hardship themselves and then expect a variance to result from it. Essentially, that's probably the number one thing you have to look at.
Okay. Explanation. So, an explanation of the permit denial because of city code. Bruce, can we ask you to just
Yes, sir.
go through that, please?
Probably on the last page.
Page 18.
That's sort of the easiest
It's
one.
the very last page of the application.
The easiest one to go to.
Or is it that one? Page 89? Is that the one?
Well, it's still going to show this.
Oh, yeah, page 18 then.
Page
Is
18.
there a page number?
109. The last page, page 18. I think that's the easiest one to look at. That's although it's showing a roof plan, it's showing the encroachment into the 20-foot rear setback. I don't know at what point. Usually it's fairly self-explanatory, but in this case, we're looking at a cul-de-sac lot that is kind of limiting their ability in which to work on because the house in the early goings was required to be set back from the front during initial construction, however many years ago that was. And so they're looking for a variance because of that setback there. This is not necessarily a room addition or something that would allow them to go upstairs or go to the other side of the house. It's actually to increase the size of a master bedroom, master bathroom, and so that's what they're working with right now. It's showing a roof line 6 foot 7 inches, which would put it back in there probably about, because of the overhang, probably around 4 feet. We would allow that we would allow that deck or a new deck to encroach into the actual setback and treat it more along the lines of an accessory building, which would be 5 feet off the rear.
Is the deck new or is that been there a while?
Forever.
How long ago was that put in? Oh, okay.
How old's the house? Careful. In my case, you are, so that makes you feel better. Okay. Would you guys, Mr. Moretti, would you like to make a presentation?
Did you want to state your plan? But before you do, Mr. Moretti, I just wanted to ask the building inspector if he had a recommendation one way or the other.
Yes, as far as from what I've seen and being at the house, for what it's worth on my end, I'd recommend approval. There's not really a serious option. It's not like some of the ones we've had in the past where it's just a question of you could do what you want if you take down a tree. You could do what you want if you did something simple. Usually in cul-de-sac lots, we see very few of them at the board meetings, and that's where it's restrictive on, from my perspective. And it talks about there's another section in there on variances that talks about heights and widths and restrictions of due to topography or irregular shapes of lots.
Why is the height restriction being added in here?
I don't think that's not something in here. We would run into a height restriction in a case where if somebody was wanting to put up a 40-foot tall structure. No, this is strictly approximately a 4-foot setback. Yes.
I'm ready with 100 Shady Truck Street, Highway Park, and 41 years. Built this house, I was a long time ago. But at the time when we built our house, back then the requirements for doorways and all that were different than they are now. I'm 68 years old, 68 years of age now, and recently I had a knee injury, and this is kind of what prompted everything. And a doctor, put me in a wheelchair. And what happens is I can't get through, these doors. I can't get through them. Then I have to step down bad, the shower, step down. You can't get the wheelchair through the other part. You can't fit for the toilet. Just the whole deal. And so, my wife and I said, look, we're going to stay here because I'm not getting younger. If my wife and I can stay here, we're going to have to make this house to where something that I can have accessibility. Maybe I'll never have another problem, maybe I'll have more problems. So this is what prompted this whole thing. So we want to be able to, if I do need a wheelchair, if I do need to take a walker in there or something, we can do that. I don't have to step down into that showers or anything like that. So that's basically, it's like a lot of things, you don't do something until it's, hits you in the face that, I need to do that. So that's what prompted that. That's why we're asking for this, we're putting a nice structure there. We've got a little bit that goes over, and that's what we're asking for the variance for, is that little bit that goes into the other area. Pretty simple to me.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Murray?
Question just what the area, this is the green belt. And I guess the question was, do we know where the 100-year floodplain is in relationship to that green belt is?
As far as I know, this is well outside the 100-year floodplain.
It is?
Yeah, it's just a what they call variable width right of way.
The other question was, do we know if there's any utility type easements within that 20-foot?
There's nothing in the rear.
Nothing in there? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Another question I just had was that outdoor, if it'd be a new air conditioning unit associated with the addition, I think you said there would be a ductless mini, what do you call a mini split?
We'll do the same where we already have units existing,
But they're outside, the units right now are outside that 20 foot.
That's not gonna change.
Okay. And then also in that site plan, the A100 sheet, it showed an existing septic system, and it said new septic system, and I guess the question was, have you retained a septic system installer to map out where it's gonna be, or is that?
We didn't want to put the cart before the horse.
Okay. And I guess the other question was just about the existing deck, and you said it was done back in the late seventies then? 78, I presume, so, okay. Answers all my questions then.
And it infringes on the one, I mean, nobody even sees
Yeah.
that, so I think that's the main thing, nobody wants a house, you know, encroaching on this, like, there's, I mean, the house is on the other side, the closest house would be, we can't see them, they can't see us, so it's not an issue. I understand those issues, I understand if somebody has a garage and they make it a bedroom and then they wanna build a garage, well, you know, that doesn't work because you had a garage. This is just a necessity. I mean, I don't know if it qualifies as a hardship or whatever, but, you know, we don't wanna move. But if we don't do this, we have to figure something out because I'm not doing that. Not gonna stay the same.
Okay. In the audience, any comments, thoughts? You're here, I have to ask you if you wanted to testify, I don't. Okay. From the panel, any comments, thoughts?
Comments. We're talking about 37 square feet into an easement that has grass and nothing else in it. And with the recommendation of Bruce Beeler, I recommend and make a motion that we approve this variance.
I second it.
So is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, so a motion's been made to approve the variance. It's been seconded by Weege. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Looks like you won your case.
We'll do a nice job.
I have one more comment. I noticed you filed all
Too
this
late.
in May. And
Too late.
I'm sorry that, that it's been difficult, and it's not been the fault, I can tell you, of the city administration to do this, but, summertime is hard for all of us to go in. I've been one of the people that have been in and out of town all summer, so I apologize that it's been from May till September till you did this, but that's just the way it is.
You know what? Life happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're smart. You plan ahead, and I'll probably be around the corner. I'm older.
We
when I
appreciate
look.
you being so patient. We do,
Okay,
Ms. Marie.
we can carry on this conversation for hours, but can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second
All
it.
right, second. Okay, 1918, we'll call it quits.
7:19?
You know, we're talking about us being fed up and all that. We appreciate you putting your time